prepare a proper resume. Now, some of you may have prepared resumes, have experience preparing resumes for other jobs. Some of you may have never prepared a resume. So let's start off with the assumption that nobody knows what a resume is. Well, a resume is a brief history of what your job experience has been and what your goals for employment are. Now, the reason why a resume is important in your search for a bartending job is many establishments say that they want to look at your resume even before they interview you. So it's important that your resume give the necessary information in a proper format that when a prospective employer looks at it, they say, hey, this resume looks good. I want to talk to this person. So a resume oftentimes is an open door to employment. Now, if you don't have a resume, that's a closed door. If your resume is not done properly, that's a closed door. So this is the reason why we're going to spend a few minutes just briefly talking about a resume. Now, the first thing that you want to do is start doing your resume. Don't wait till you finish the program. What I personally suggest is a brief one-page resume. On your resume, I strongly suggest that you include a photo. And the reason why I suggest a photo is because bartending is a public position. You're going to be interfacing and dealing with an establishment's customers. Oftentimes, you are the first contact that the customers have with the establishment. So think about it from a prospective employer's viewpoint. What type of person do they want representing them behind the bar? Well, they want somebody that has a nice appearance. They want somebody that smiles. They want somebody that has positive body language. So this is why a photo is helpful. Because let's say you're a prospective employer and you received 8 or 9 or 10 resumes. And the resumes all talk about experience, etc., etc. But all of a sudden, a prospective employer comes across your resume. All the other resumes, they don't have a photo. They're just text. They're just words. But then they see a picture of you. You're smiling. You're making a nice appearance. You have positive body language. That's going to stand out. So that gives you a perspective edge in securing the interview and getting the job. The second thing to consider is at the top of your resume, after you give the pertinent information, you want to list in detail what you've learned here at the bartending school. And this is important because on an interview, one of the first questions you're going to be asked is what type of experience do you have bartending? And it's the same thing when somebody looks at your resume. They're really interested in what type of experience or knowledge you have of bartending. And one of the mistakes that students often make in preparing a resume is they list in detail all of the things that they've done prior to going to bartending school. When you're interviewing for a bartending job, most of your other work experience, owners and managers really don't care about. What they really care about, what do you know about bartending? Now, after you've listed what you've learned here at the school, it is important to list your other jobs, especially if they've had anything to do with working with the public or customer service, cashiering or retail. Be sure to mention that and be sure to list that you have experience dealing with customers. And then after that, briefly list your other jobs that you've had or your other work experience. Now, oftentimes, students procrastinate doing their resume till after they finish the program and they're finished with the school. Please, please, please don't do that. It's very important that you do your resume immediately. This way, while you're still attending class, you can bring it in, You can show it to your instructor, and he or she will be able to look at it, go over it, and they'll look at it as a prospective employer. And they'll critique it. And they'll tell you everything that you're doing right, and if you're doing anything wrong, they'll make suggestions on how to improve it. So just remember, your resume is the window into what you've done in the past and why you're qualified for the job that you're applying for. Don't take it lightly. So after class or tomorrow, be sure to do it, be sure to bring it in, and go over it with your instructor. Now, at the end of this video, just in a few minutes, your instructor is going to give you a handout. It's going to go over a sample format. Do you have to follow it? No, it's your resume. Are there some really good points on it that may be very beneficial in you looking for a job? Yes, but it's your decision. Remember, we have a two-part program to train you and to help you find a job, but a lot of it depends on you. So pay attention to these tips. An important job tip is always take a resume to a job interview. The reason why you want to do this is most other people who may be interviewing for the job probably haven't taken the time or made the effort to prepare a resume. So when you go in there for the interview and you give them a resume, it's going to make you stand out. Now hopefully you've completed your resume and you followed one of the formats that your instructor has gone over that will clearly illustrate to a prospective employer all the things that you've learned here at the school and why you're qualified for the job. The second reason why it's good to bring a resume on a job interview is because, let's say the employer has interviewed 5 or 6 people and maybe he's had them fill out an application and he's trying to decide who to hire. Well, he's looking at these applications and he can't remember who did what and what they look like or where they worked at, and all of a sudden he comes across your resume. Now, possibly you've taken my advice and have a nice, small, passport-sized photo on your resume with your big, smiling, happy face. And he picks up your resume, he sees your happy, smiling face, he looks at your experience and he says, wow, this person stands out from the crowd. So, by bringing a resume, a proper resume, with a photo, it gives you an edge in the interviewing process. Also, many times when you go on a job interview, they may not even ask you to fill out an application. But by you bringing your resume and leaving it with a prospective employer, let's say he's hired somebody or he doesn't hire you. Well, a lot of times when establishments hire somebody, that person doesn't work out for a variety of reasons. So that means that they've got to find somebody quickly. Well, if they are looking through just plain old applications and your nice resume, who's going to stand out? So the point is that bringing a resume gives you an edge in the job search. Is it difficult? No. Is it important? Yes. Follow this tip. It'll help you out in finding that great job.